All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Launch Button Podcast. And it's been a while since we've done a solo episode. So I wanted to bring you up to speed on what's going on and a lot of the changes that have been happening and lots of great things that have been happening behind the scenes. We're actually getting back from Sharon Lecter's ranch. And just to give you an idea of how big this property is, right? It's over 300 acres. And then they have grazing rights for over 43,000 acres. So think about that and put that in perspective is that property is bigger than Disney World as well as the state of Rhode Island. And so we had a chance to be off grid and a chance to recoup and get back into nature, as well as doing some really good personal development growth and some different items and things that we need to go through to teach and train the group. So for everybody out there that is looking to do that, I highly recommend a chance to go to the Cherry Creek Lodge. We Sharon Lecter, if you ever get a chance, just say yes. That's what we did. With the opportunity, I want to thank the TFP community and Greg Kimball for making that happen and being able to get out there and just really spend some quality time with Sharon and Michael or Mike Lecter and their team and Carol, and everybody took amazing care of us with all their curated food and stories and everything that related. And it is a real life, right? A real life working cattle ranch. Yes, real life working cattle ranch. Most of the food was kept there. We even got lost one day and had to follow a creek bed back, and lots of fun things. So check out the Instagram post to see all of those things that are transpiring. Now, let's talk about a few things. Number one, we've got, for all my real estate investor fans that are following us, number one, interest rates. All right, I've gotten this question a lot. Hey, should I refinance right now, Hugh? Is it probably the best time? So a couple things with the interest rates and the elections coming up. And so, we're heading into that election season, the final run of it. Whoever gets elected, we don't talk politics here, right? Will have an impact on what we do, but we just want to understand that. So number one with that, right? Will interest rates go up or down? Most likely they're going to continue to come down. So if you're in a position where you can wait a little bit longer to refinance, if that's something you're looking to do. I know I've been getting calls from some investors talking about, hey, should I refinance now? If it's a need and you're going to, save some money or be able to do that, or two, if you can wait a little longer, rates are probably going to come down a little bit, right? Right now they're sitting at about 5%. The Fed rate, we're expecting in November, maybe another quarter, maybe half, most likely 0.25% drop on that. So that'll put it at 4.75. And then you might even see another drop again before the beginning of next year. So as we're talking about that, so we can wait a little bit longer. You'll probably get a little bit better interest rate, a little bit bang for your bucks when you go to refinance. It just depends on your loans. If you're trying to cash out from the low 3% or your cash, you're reducing your rate. We want to make sure that you sort of time that right. But interest rates since the last meeting have actually been moving up instead of down, just with everything going on in the economy. So that's number one question there. Number two, we want to give a big shout out to all the people affected by the two hurricanes in Florida. Our thoughts, our prayers are with everybody there to make sure, the last one being Milton, that came through while we were off the grid. And, please reach out to everybody down there, make sure they're safe. I know some people still don't have power, all sorts of things as this comes out, and all the way up into the Carolinas there. So definitely reach out to people, make sure we check on people, because that's what we do. As heart-centered entrepreneurs, we want to make sure we check on all of our entrepreneur friends wherever they happen to be in the country. And in this case, our Florida friends are definitely getting the worst of it right now. So reach out to them to go ahead and do that. For those of you guys with concerns with our properties, we did end up selling them at the end of the last year, so we're not affected, but I appreciate the thoughts, the comments, the text messages that I was getting while I was traveling. So on that. Next, upcoming events. We got lots of things going on. So we just came back from the ranch. I'm heading out to Utah later this week to record a new class for Renatus, for those of you guys part of that community. I'll have a new real estate marketing and sales class going into the program there. Then we'll be in Denver beginning in November, potentially Chicago in December. So lots of events coming up to get plugged into and to see everybody at. So I look forward to that, as we've been doing a lot of traveling this fall as things are picking back up and launching new things. We got a lot of new eFamily members on our weekly calls and the TFP Connect calls. So congratulations to everybody that's taken action and joined in on that. So those are a couple announcements there. I want to talk to you guys about, Sharon Lecter talked about, some of, what are your isms, right? What are things that you say repeatedly? And this goes to business, this goes to your personal life, this goes to a whole bunch of different things. And we're really thinking about, what are some of my isms? And Sharon talked about what are some of her isms with that. And some of those being, right, she always says, right, assets are sexy is one of her things. And as you're talking about that, that's just something she said over and over and over in her books, in her different philosophies on what it is. So, you've heard me say, if you've been part of any of the trainings, if you're on here on the podcast, we talk about CDA, consistent daily action leads to success. So we say, it's not magic, it's CDA. If you want to change or do something, all right, that you've got that one. Ready, fire, aim. Those of you guys in the real estate trainings, you guys have heard me say that one multiple times. And ready, fire, aim, because there was some confusion on that. So let's just explain what that is. Ready is everything we do to do a quick analysis, right? We don't want to be willy-nilly, but we do want to go through, run our numbers, do some basic analysis, because we're not going to know every single number, but we need to get in the right ballpark before we make an offer on a deal. Then we fire out our contracts, and then we double check with our aim part. For all of our military members and anybody that likes to hunt or shoot or anything like that. And we did get to do some of that at the ranch, which was fun. And especially for a guy that doesn't really ever shoot. So it was good to learn from some of our military and police officers. So thank you very much, Matt, Greg, Bree and Anthony, right, to be able to go ahead and do that and show us how to shoot. And Michael Lecter, of course, at his private little shooting range there. But I wanted to just say that we do have to do the aim part, right? And some people have heard and sort of translated my ism, the ready, fire, aim, into something that's slightly different, right? Slightly different. We still want to do the ready part. We still want to make a plan. We still want to do those things. We just need to go ahead and take action before, right? Before we finalize everything there. So as we get into this and you start to think about that, what are some of the things that you're constantly saying to yourself, to other people? If you don't know what it was a great little exercise that we did with the isms, right? And so ask your significant others, ask your friends, ask your family members, all right? Take some time and think, what are my isms? And because that's what people will know you for, that's your sort of philosophies, and find out what they are. Now, you may like them or you may not like them, right? And now we have the ability to change them. We have the ability to create new isms, right, as we go through this. And we talked about this. Matt Bernesky had one, says, you're not the decision maker, but you're the influencer. So you may not have control of what decision is made, but you can have an influence on that. So that was a great one there. John had, what is your reference point? John Hillebrand, right? What is your reference point? If something's too expensive or too cheap, what's your reference point? And just being able to go through those to really understand, what are you saying and what are people picking up? What are they going to remember you by? And that's one of the things. If your isms are all negative, well, then we're not having the best life. So what are some of your isms? Go ahead and write them down. Go ahead and put the comments here at the end of the podcast so that we can go ahead and do that. And then start to understand, what are things that you say over and over and over, right? And be able to build your brand off of that, be able to build your business off of that. If they're positive, if they're things in the right direction, otherwise you got to start changing it. But we're going to make the assumption here that your isms are positive, right? And so that's what you're going to build your brand off. That's what you're going to build your likes off of. Those are the different things there that you're going to put together and start to understand your philosophy on life, your philosophy on doing things. So the clearer we get with those isms, right, and we can start to build that into our website, we can start to build that into our SEO, into our branding, into our different messaging there. And it's a really simple little tip and or trick to say, hey, if I'm going to say something over and over and over, I want to make sure I write it down, right? I want to make sure I write it down. I want to make sure that it's in my trainings, it's in my different things that I'm doing if I want to be a speaker, right? So you start to understand and you start to create that consistent message, consistent daily action. Now we've got a consistent message for people that follow us, right? Our consistent message for whatever it happens to be, right? Like Sharon saying, hey, right, assets are sexy. There's a great little ism, right? You're going to remember that all of the time. If you've ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, any of her books or anything like that, right? It's all about building the assets. And that's going to produce the income that you want in future in your life. So just the way you say things are going to be the way that you attract people. So here's your exercise. Here's your homework from this podcast. As we're talking about this, that, hey, I want to go ahead and find out what my isms are. If you don't know what they are, well, number one, take 5 to 10 minutes to go ahead and think about what are your isms that you say over and over and over. And you may forget some, and you need to bring them back. 2, ask some friends, ask your significant other, right, what one of your isms might be, or a couple of them, because they're going to give them to you real fast. They're going to know the things that you say over and over and over. Like, you guys will hear me and I'll tilt my head. For those of you guys that are watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see it, but I'll be like, really? All right. A lot of people say that's one of my isms. I go, really? And the voice goes a little higher, like, I don't really believe you, right? So what are those isms for you as you're thinking about that and being able to do that? So you've got that going on. We're coming into the end of 2025. And what we really need to do here is to prepare, the end of 2024. What we need to do is prepare for 2025. That's where we're going with that, right? We need to prepare for 2025. And the way to do that right now is to start laying out your plan for next year, start laying out your dates of your event, start laying out your plan for your business, so that as we come down in the last, 60 days, little plus 60 days left in the end of the year, a little over 2 months, that we can go ahead and have a good plan for us to go ahead and have that success next year and be able to take that. And you've got to be able to protect your vision, right? So not only do we have to have a plan for success, but then we've got to be able to protect it. We created this image here, and I'll show this to everyone on the YouTube channel, where you guys can go ahead and follow and like. Here is this image of being able to go ahead and protect your vision, because it's really, a lot of us are really good at creating a vision. What we're not so great at is actually keeping the vision and protecting it. So as we're in our planning stage right now for next year, and you're getting everything set up that you want to for your business, for your personal life, for all the different areas of your life, I want you to make sure you go ahead and truly protect your vision. All right, truly protect your vision. That means you got to block out time to achieve it. You got to block out time to do that. And let me describe this image for those of you guys that are just listening. It's a person in the center with a little blow from the center of their chest, right? Sort of protecting it out with a bubble around it. And then you've got a bunch of people on the outside of that bubble trying to get in, right? So we need to be able to protect our vision from different people that may have a negative attitude, protect our vision from customers that might complain, protect our vision of what we want from our life from other people, and then also get the support from the people that we need, right? Oftentimes people want to help, they're trying to help, but they may not be helping. They may actually be hurting your vision because maybe they don't agree with it. Maybe they don't think it's the right vision. But the only person that knows if it's the right vision or not is you, because it's your life. It's your vision. You're the only one that have had the experiences. So you need to hold strong to that vision that you want to achieve for yourself, for other people, for your family, for your business. You are the only one that knows. Now, we also right? If we're going down a bad path, we don't fully want to do that, but we need to understand what is that bad path? What is a good path, right? And so make sure that we're creating our vision, we're protecting it, and then we're double checking, right, that we're on target for our vision and our plan. Because we want to help you launch, right, or take your business to the next level. But in order to do that, we have to have the plan. We have to protect it. We have to take the consistent daily action towards our goals. And then every so often reevaluate. Are we on track or do we need to tweak something? Are we on track or do we need to change something? Are we on track or do we need to scrap that whole project and start a different one? So as you're preparing for the end of the year, it's a great time to review your websites. It's a great time to review your messaging. It's a great time to review the different things and use your ISMs, as Sharon Lecter likes to say, use those ISMs to create the right plan, the right path, the right opportunity for you in 2025. So just want to give a shout out here on this video. Again, everybody in Florida, please stay safe. If there's anything you need, please feel free to reach out. As we said, we'll be coming around the country. So we'll be in Utah this weekend. We'll be in Denver in a couple of weeks, and then potentially in Chicago in December. So reach out to us. Those of you guys that want to get on the coaching calls, on the eFamily TFP Connect weekly calls, go ahead and hit us up on there, as that group is growing with entrepreneurs, business owners from all across the country, including Canada, as we've taken that internationally. And then anybody that needs coaching, feel free to reach out. We'll see if you qualify to coach with us. And I look forward to lots of speaking opportunities, lots of opportunities to get out and network with you in the end of this year, as well as 2025. And we've got some cool trips, some cool opportunities. We do have another speakers boot camp, November 15th to the 17th in New York City. For those of you guys looking to get on stages, podcasts, dial in that message, go ahead and click that link as well. That's www.expresswithimpact.com. You can go ahead and get registered there. 3 days in New York City for that event. And then we're just going to continue to grow and continue to rock and roll. So I'll see everybody on the next episode of the Launch Button Podcast. Hit the hearts, hit the like, subscribe, save, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on the Launch Button Podcast, your gateway to unlocking your true potential and pursuing your passions. Don't let the journey end here. For more empowering insights, valuable resources, exclusive content, and free giveaways, visit www.thelaunchbuttonpodcast.com.